It's a Monday morning show, live. And I don't even know what that means. I just wanted to be here because I could. A little change in the Force Center recording schedule this week. We are going live today with some Force Center news. If you're watching live, I'm just going to say live until it's into your brain. Force Center live at 12 noon Pacific. And I can't do the blathering tonight. I'm blessed to be a part of the music video that Arena's putting together for her new song that she was trying to teach me to say the title correctly, a Sueño Americano. Sueño. I'm almost there. Darina and April, the horror hose, you should subscribe to them. They told me Saturday night that I'm almost there with that title. So I take pride in that. So I can't do the blathering tonight. And I thought, we're not Force Center's a little different today. What if I was to go live? What if I was to make Kingsport Cal happy with a kind of live version of what used to be 20 minutes of coffee? But we'll go for a little bit here. Morning crew here. David Mackay, and if James Holmes shows up, that means my UK or Greenwich Mean Time Zone friends can watch at a decent hour. Monday morning show is, of course, for those that don't know, show I put out every Monday morning to just kind of look ahead of my week and see what's in front of my week. Outside of news, outside of the political battles, outside of a lot of other things, other than just like, what am I dealing with? This is a show that looks inward. It's a shoegazer. It's like a mid-'90s shoegaze band is what this show is about. And, of course, we usually release it early for YouTube members here or Patreon supporters at patreon.com/Napzok. Unfortunately, we're not doing that this week. I haven't had a chance to do the show as much. I've been wonderfully busy, and also being a little more kind to myself if I don't hit some of the supplemental shows, the three things in this show. If it's going to break me to do them, it's okay. It's okay to pull back. It's okay to pull back. So I got some things on my mind this week, but also if you're watching live, General Cameroni's here. Adam Knight is here. Go check out Adam's show too. Adam, you got a few usernames here, so I want to make sure I send people to the right one. But if you look at Nightfall Productions there in chat and you're watching, go to his links. He's got a great show going too, of just him, his thoughts, and his friends, and lessons learned from the wilds of pro wrestling, and just his journey as well is being documented, and this show has always been a little bit of a documentation of my journey. And this past year and a half has not been a fun journey, but it's also I had some clarity over the last week or so that I was going to share, because it's me heading into a new month, and this next month, March of 2026, is it's a free fall month for me. It might be a make or break month. And if you've been invested into me as a brand, like a floor wax, I've been very transparent with some of the struggles this year, changes in my life, changes in relationships, changes in jobs, and changes in pursuits. And it's been a lot of big empty over the last couple of years, last couple of months, I should say, which now stretches into a couple of years. It's been a lot of big empty, not even big swings and misses, just like I'm not even in the batter's box, it seems, sports references. And that has weighed on me, and that's been part of it. But I've had such clarity over the last 6 to 8 weeks. And if you've even been listening to me for a long time, if you've been listening to the Napzok Files going back to 2012, you understand kind of the cloud that is often on my shoulder, and it's often maybe a cloud we put there. All of us do. So I want to talk a little bit about that there. But since we're live, if you're watching, especially if you're watching now, because you don't get to watch the blathering at that time, I'll take some general questions about life or things going on. I don't want to say advice like I have the answers, but if you got something going on, this is a safe place to share. It's safe. It's on the internet. It's public, right? Yeah, 2 people already disliked the stream, so it's definitely public. You could be watching on Twitch, you could be watching on Facebook, or watching here kind of on YouTube. If you got a question, thoughts, comments on life, I want to hear it here. We're starting a new week. I texted someone this morning that Mondays do suck. I think Mondays do suck, but Mondays are just an opportunity for us to all write a new page or an old adventure, right? And that's some good poster motivation. But I'm experiencing some great clarity on not just directions forward, but who I want to be going forward, how I want to put that into place, and reframing a lot of how I look at my own life. And this clarity came to me, and this is something, the big challenge for my week is carrying this forward, because I think you can have these big kind of moments of clarity, these moments of revelation, and they fade because that's the way it is. It's the fire on the mountain syndrome, you know, which comes from, at least for me, you know, religious world of you go on the mountain, you're touched by the Spirit of God, you're on fire for the Lord, and then you come back down to the world, and it gets lost in the mundane. That has always resonated with me because I have felt that in many ways. And last week I had some great clarity, and this weekend I took some time, unintended. Impromptu almost. I took some time for some adventures, took some time for some other people, had just a wonderful weekend with some wonderful folks celebrating a birthday on Saturday of Frank the editor. That was unintended, but it was so good. But so the week could end, and now a new week has begun. And some of the clarity I had last week, some of the motivation I had last week, that's going to fade. That's going to fade because today I had to wake up and make sure the dog was fed. I had to make sure my squirrels are fed. I got 2 medical appointments. And you start, the weight starts hitting you there. But the clarity I had as I have continued to struggle over the last year for what is next. What is next? And that is often job and money and people in my life, all those things. What is next? And that has caused me, as you search for those answers and they don't necessarily arrive, it causes you to doubt what you're doing. It causes you to doubt the path you're on. The clarity I had last week starts as bumper sticker motivation. It starts as, well, that's a simple concept, dummy. And that is that, hey, I'm doing some great work on myself right now. Back in therapy, possible medication assistance on the way, though Kaiser has, I'll take an ADHD spin into what Kaiser's done. I got referred to therapy, and then my therapist referred me back to Kaiser for, psychiatrist to maybe get some of the meds. Got that. Love the guy. Love my therapist. Everything's good. And then he's like, great, you're good. Let's do these meds. I'll put it into Kaiser. And Kaiser has not done anything other than to reconfirm that my referral to the guy is good to go. They sent me the same goddamn paperwork. Kaiser emailed me the same paperwork that I got like a month ago. Congratulations, you're approved. So I don't have the meds I need. Not even the meds that I need, the meds that I may want to try. I don't have that. I have, congratulations, we've completely just messed this up in your number in our system. Anyways, healthcare. But the clarity I had was if I had got some of the things I wanted over the last year, mostly in terms of jobs, mostly in terms of answers for what I feel was the way forward. If I'd gotten that stuff, I would not be where I am here today in this moment over these last, let's say 6 to 8 weeks of dramatic improvement in my life. What's the translation of that? If I had got one of those jobs I was going for, the jobs that would have made me have a lot more money and maybe affected some of the stuff I do here on lawn on my own, but I would have had a job and I would have been able to, make sure I stayed in my house or go to a house I want, or I don't know, get a new pair of pants and an extra steak at the store. I don't know. If I'd gotten that, which was my wish, which was my desire, if I'd gotten that, I wouldn't be here on this show with you telling you that I'm the best emotionally I've ever been in my entire life since, I don't know, maybe I was 10. At 10, everything seemed pretty good. About 11 or 12, some depression started setting in. Some of those little chemicals started pouring through the brain. And I think since 12, I've been in a pretty bad state. Functional, like all of us. We're all humans, by the way. I'm just telling my story, and hopefully it connects with yours. But I feel a way I haven't felt my entire life. I don't remember 10 much. I remember liking He-Man, GoBots, mostly Transformers, and definitely G.I. Joe. Okay, and Star Wars. I don't remember 10 outside of that. I feel the best I've felt my entire life. Not happy, because happy is always going to be temporary. I'm talking about emotional strength. And as I head to this week and look ahead to this week, I'm excited to see what another week of emotional strength will do to me. But I would not have gotten to that point, and it's an ongoing journey. You don't have a finish line. Therapy doesn't necessarily end, even if this particular session or this particular therapist work ends. We're always continually needing to go forward and improve. But I had this moment of clarity of like, if I had gotten any one of those jobs, if my desire that I screamed out to God, Allah, and Iron Man, or the Force, I need this job. I need this job. Give me this job. If I had gotten that, I wouldn't have done the work on myself. I wouldn't have needed to. The old money can't buy happiness. I've always said what sportscaster Colin Cowherd said is more true. Money can't buy happiness, but it can put a down payment on it, right? If I had suddenly had, and I want my needs met. I want all of your needs met out there. I want to put food on the table, all that stuff. That aside, if I had gotten, this is the answer. If I'd gotten that answer, I would not have had the opportunity to look myself in the mirror and actually start to repair things about my life. And so that's exciting. And last week was exciting. I felt so strong. I felt thrilled to face some of the challenges and realize I'm still here, to reframe how you look at things. And we've talked about on this show. If you've been listening to a Monday morning show, you've heard some of it. I am still in this house, which is kind of a miracle financially. But at the end of every month, I have this like, oh, can I survive another one? As opposed to, hey, I'm still here. Reframing it. So this reframed how I've been looking at the last year of my life. If I'd gotten what I wanted, it would have not have fixed who I am. It would have been a nice coat over the surface. And then if I lost that job, which happens a lot. I have friends right now who, I got a job. I'm saved. I lost the job. Oh, no. And that's just going to happen, right? That's why I even say, like, I'm happy. I'm happy this last week. I'm happy today. That's not permanent. Got a job. I got the answer. That's not permanent. And if I had, again, got one of those jobs, I would not have been fixed. I'm so happy to have that moment of clarity. A friend of mine, I mentioned my friend, Jason, who we go for our heart-to-heart walks once a week, if not more. Good exercise, good mental exercise. He said something so smart. He's one of the smartest, most insightful people I know. So shout out to my buddy Jason Boggs. Go follow him. He's a great comic too. Jason, I don't want to take his story and share what's not mine, but Jason at one point was a bigger guy, like over 300 pounds, and he got well below 200. He was talking to me about this on our walk. I was like, that's great. That's great. I've been around him enough last year to know how he's done it, but I was just kind of like asking him about that. And he said something. He was like, look, at one point in my life, I actually lost a lot of weight and I got to like 170, right? And then as life often does, I got back up to the number I was uncomfortable with. And I was like, oh, well, okay. What's the difference? I asked naively. And he said, I'll tell you the difference. In the past, I made an effort to eat better. Diet, exercise, and that can be successful. But this time around, I took the time to diagnose why I was eating bad, why my lifestyle choices were leading to what I deemed bad health. And when I was able to diagnose and confront and fix those issues, the losing the weight was just a byproduct of that. I even told that to my therapist. My therapist with all not the Star Wars posters on the wall, but all the plaques on the wall. And it's a great therapist. Was like, whoa, great. I want to share that. And I did just share that. I want to share it with all of you. And hopefully you can take that forward in your life this week. State of the world is always in flux. Tomorrow night, Tuesday, we here in America have our State of the Union. That's going to be something. We can't even have the U.S. Olympic men's hockey team win a gold here in this country without being tainted by a drunk Kash Patel showing up and a buffoon in office calling the team, and now there's controversy around that. We can't even have those things. So this week is always going to be a challenge. But I hope some of these moments of clarity that I've had can translate to your situations this week, can translate to anything that you're struggling with. Diagnose the why of insert your choices or insert your struggles. Don't seek those solutions. They're nice. At any point this last year, I would have taken one of those jobs. I should have taken one of those jobs. I will take one of those jobs now. But that would have covered up everything that I needed to address. Everything that I should and now have faced. That I'm still facing. I ain't perfect. I don't have it all locked away. But may that clarity find you this week too. And again, to quote my friend Jason, I didn't just make a decision to eat better. I diagnosed, confronted, and changed while I was eating bad. So shout out to Jason. I'm trying to get him to start his own YouTube channel, I think. So that's where we're at. That's my week. And can I continue to carry the fire forward? It's great to have these moments of clarity. It's great to have these moments of inspiration, but those will fade. And can that inspiration become habit? Can that inspiration become a bedrock to build a better life around it? So there you go. We're almost done here. This is what we do. But now it's free form. Now I want to know, are there any questions out there in this Monday morning show? I'm going to sip some coffee. All right. We got, you got my attention. Little watery coffee. Little watery coffee. I also spilled a bunch of coffee this morning. I was in a hurry. Why? Why, Ken? Why were you in a hurry? The squirrels needed their nuts, okay? I woke up this morning and the squirrel table was empty. Last night, yesterday, the squirrels and the crows and the Blue Jays emptied everything out. So I panicked this morning. Didn't even have my contacts in. Had to grab the glasses. Run out there in a bathrobe to feed the squirrels. And so I put the coffee pot incorrect, and I came back and all the coffee was spilling out on the floor. So I don't know. There we go. General Cambroni says, I'm learning it's never just one fix, but an overall goal to improve yourself. Many different ways to go about it, but it all comes down to good habits and forward progress. Yeah. Yeah, and giving yourself the grace, the kindness, the space when you slide back, or, when you stop off at a donut shop, doesn't mean your health journey has ended. Just means you got a good donut. You can always, the next choice is always the better one to make. Jeannie from Tahini, things you learned during your clarity will not fade. They're partying out will help you in the future. I really think that's a great comment, Jeannie, and it's true. That's what I'm so excited about right now. I mean what I say, especially if you've invested in me long term. If you're Kingsport Cow and you've been here for a bit, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I show the world my clouds and shadows. That's not always the best choice. A good Irish friend of mine once said, you need a little bit more of the Irish in you. Keep it cagey, man. Keep it back. But yes, I'm excited that I feel now, Jeannie from the Tahini, I have, I just love saying the full username. I think I have the tools in the shed now that I didn't have. It's great stuff. I take notes. All these are notes from my therapy sessions. They're her words. I told my therapist, I said, I think I'm gonna just take all your words and put them into a book if you're not. And I was actually trying to encourage her to write a book, because what I love about the current therapy I'm in is we take these big concepts and we boil them down to the bumper stickers. I sometimes poke fun of that. Bumper sticker motivation. Life's too fast. Life's too complicated. Life's too life. And sometimes when you just get a concept that is simple and short and sweet, I think it takes root. So there you go. All right, so we got some questions here. Happy to answer some of these here. Dylan Berry asks, how do I take my coffee? In my cup. My coffee is weak or strong, doesn't matter. The scoops, I'm a 3 scoops guy right now, okay? But the key for me is cream. I put some stevia, that's my sugar substitute. But I'm definitely, I turn that black coffee white. Okay. You can take whatever you want from that. but I cream it up. I'll cream it up. Jared's here's his struggle. Jared says, I got 3 feet of snow. And thank you for super chat earlier, Jared. I got 3 feet of snow coming down. The owner of the store who is vacation in Texas. Ask him. Okay. So Jared says, I got 3 feet of snow where he is. More coming down, yet the owner of the store who is vacationing in Texas is asking why the store isn't open. Jared, that is the struggle. I hope you find the clarity on how to deal with that. Call him Ted Cruz. Kingsport Cal, am I going to fall in love with my therapist? No, I'm not, Cal. She's wonderful. No. I know that is the thing, though. That is the thing. Adam Knight, again at Adam Knight. We were talking the other day on the Blather, and Jared, the Tide Pilot, was asking about books to read, and I absolutely failed to suggest the Overdrive series from Adam Knight. Check them out. Actual question, even if it's tried, obvious one, even knowing what you know now with clarity and experience, would you truly change anything if you could? This is the great question, right? This is the, hey, this is everything that led you here, right? I just even posted something about that on Instagram yesterday. That's I could get lost in the philosophy of that. I've thought about that. So as a lot of you know, I was for 17 years in a day job, a public safety career, and spent the most of it, of the 17 years, like 12 of the 17 years in management as a director of public safety. And the job is what it was. I wouldn't do it again in terms of just it's not a job that aligns with me, but the job was fine. And at one point was making, enough money to survive and buy all those suits. But I hated myself in the job. It's not even fair to the job to say I hated the job. I hated myself in the job. And looking back, I should have, maybe worked better to fix myself, and the job would not have defined me. Jobs don't define you. I'm like to define myself as a comedian and a broadcaster and author and all those wonderful things. Those are great things to put on a resume, but even that is still not who I am. And I did learn that, put a pin in that for when I finally did leave the job. But when I was in the job, I wanted out of it. When I was in the job, I hated myself. I hated the world around me. I was pretty low for 17 years. Maybe 15 of the 17. The first 2 were just like, hey, we're doing this job and I'll be off doing great things. Don't you worry. And then I got stuck in it. And then I didn't take chances. And there was times where I told myself, hey, if I see this place is hiring, maybe I'll get out of security and I'll manage a bookstore. Maybe that'll be. And then there was a help wanted site on one night, and I didn't take it. All right, life has these choices. That's why my interpretation of destiny is the Star Wars version of destiny, which is it's not predetermined. You can always change it, and you're as good as your next choice, right? And that's something Anakin couldn't fight against. But let's not get into Star Wars. Save that for Force Center today. But Adam, to your question, when I finally was able to get out of the job and then go to Screen Junkies, and great opportunity, glad I'd take it, glad I took it, would do it again. But I hadn't fixed myself. Adam. So when I was over at Screen Junkies and it wasn't perfect, and I was driving an hour and 40 minutes home, and was stuck on the hill in traffic, and started to cry because this job didn't feel like it would fix me, I didn't diagnose the problem. I just ate better, but it was still making me feel bad. It's all relative. And looking back, I became more thankful. And the journey did bring me there. And the people who it brought to me were important. That job that I hated brought me 2 wonderful relationships that I still value, even though they're long gone. I learned a lot from those 2 women. Loved those 2 women. Some of my best friends, some of the people I can lean on now if I want or need to or have to, and vice versa, are there. And so, Adam, like, I look back, I'm like, I wish I'd done this. I wish I'd become famous. I wish I got that job. I wish I left that job and went to that job, but I didn't. All I can deal with is here. All I can deal with is what's in front of me. And realizing that, yes, everything, including the mistakes, brought me to this next point, brought me to this next choice. I think there's great value in that. Great question. Great question, Adam. So Maddie Mourner, great rock star. Maddie Gunner. Check out Mourner Band. To move on is to grow. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is douchey. This is absolutely douchey, but maybe Adam will understand. I'm very proud of the last song we put out as the Moonagers, End of the Road. And End of the Road is a breakup song, but there is a verse I wrote, some days I forget to miss you. Those are the days I die. This aching feeling is a heart that's healing. I'm leaving you behind. And that was addressing the end of a chapter of my life that I didn't necessarily want to end, but it had. And sometimes we hold on to that. Sometimes we work overtime to hold on to maybe even the pain, because that's easier than moving forward. But then when you're not even thinking about it, your heart, your soul, your mind moves on. And those are the days that you forget to miss someone. Those are the days you forget to cry. Those are the days you forget to be in pain. And hopefully you can take from that, oh yeah, that's some healing. That's moving forward. Valdez here, checking in. Hello. I like newer names showing up because I'm live streaming at a different time. Don't forget the blathering will return Thursday. No blathering tonight. I'll be shooting, as I said, the music video with the wonderful DJ Bruja, Dorina, her first single, Sueño Americano. I'm almost there. I'm almost saying it right. Is out now. Support her. Bandcamp. Go to Apple, 99 cents. Pick up the song. Adam adds, regretting old choices isn't the same as acknowledging the power of those moments. Still working on that too, brother. Yeah, you keep working. How do we get from saying I love you to I'll see you around someday? That's there you go. Maddie, sometimes when a chapter ends, we forget the one threat in the book. Doesn't mean it's closed. Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff. All right, so a couple more minutes, and then I got to go get ready for Force Center and take Franny for maybe a little walk. Franny, do you want to go for a walk? Oh, yep, she maybe does. Had a lot of fun doing this live. Maybe we'll do this. Oh, Valdez. Oh, you're Senior Film. Senior Film. Yeah, absolutely. We're glad you're here. You tell those Wanger boys that I miss them. I got to get back on the Wangers. But it's hard. My Mondays are really busy. Usually it's release this episode late Sunday night, do 2 episodes of Force Center, edit and upload those episodes of Force Center, get ready for the blathering, do the blathering, try to walk Franny, try to eat some food, you got to do that, and work out myself. And then, by 8 o'clock at night, I kind of just want to play Fortnite in my sweatpants. And that's when the Wangers start. Jared says the Force Center call-in show today. No, it's just the news today. But if you have questions for us, we'll take them live in chat. We'll have a live call-in show on Friday, and that's been a lot of fun. Kingsport Cow says, get back with the Wangers text code he misses. Rocket Bottle Art says, nothing poignant to add, but I'm glad I cut most of this live. Hey, I don't have anything poignant to add. I'm just, I'm a broadcaster who loves to do silly things. I love to yell about polo shirts and things I don't love and all that. But I think I cannot escape that my journey. I always want to share my journey. I love connecting with people on that level. It's meant a lot to me over the years. Laserbolt says, go to work, Jared. People are going to need booze on a day like this. Yeah, get in there, Jared. Bring a shovel. You get through those 3 feet of snow, and you get there. And yeah, shout out to everyone. I always joke. Look, it was a little cold this weekend here. It got down to like 57. I had to wear a beanie. Saturday night I had a beanie on. It was a little cold. Frank's birthday, we're celebrating, but little Kenny's got to warm those ears. But shout out to all those dealing with what's going on weather-wise here. Okay. Maddie Mourner says, we'll be back in town soon. Prepare for my arrival. There you go. We'll get some Mexican food. That's it. This is what we do on a Monday morning show. I share what's in my view of the week ahead. Hopefully it connects with you. I love you all. I truly do. Subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube. Go ahead and leave a nice comment if you're watching later. That really does help as we continue to grow this stuff out here and become a channel member and get to call into the show. Become a Patreon supporter, patreon.com/Napzok. And you get to call into the show. That's it. Nice tight 30 minutes, says Kingsport Cal. And shout out to this music. which is actually it's called Weather Report, and it was of course used for SNN when I used to do the parody weather reports. But it's a good Monday morning wake up sound, right? This is the sound Jared hears in his head every time he closes up the shop and gets to go home. Truly love you all. Hang in there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. We'll see you next time here. Bye.